Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Noobs to Pros. In today's episode, we'll be reviewing one of the games that I played recently in my Jgpanther, which is the Tier 7 German tank destroyer. It is one of the best tank destroyers at Tier 7 in my opinion, though I might be biased just because I've had many good games in it. It has amazing penetration with its last gun, 200, and with that last gun it gets 320 damage, so it gets a lot of damage and a lot of penetration. Now this game, or rather this replay, for the lack of a better term, I'll just call Heartbreak Ridge, just because it's one of the best games I've played in the Jgpanther, and you know, we wind up drawing this game. I carry my team as hard as I can, but I make some errors in my judgment, and we just can't seem to win this. So at the start of the game, I try to tell my teammates not to go across the bridge. It's much easier to ambush the team and make a choke point on the bridge. If you concentrate all of your guns on the bridge, odds are you're gonna knock out most of them. And seeing that we have a Tier 7 tank destroyer, two Tier 7 tank destroyers, it works in our favor to kind of like stay on this side of the bridge rather than go on the other side. Now the AMX AC-46 just goes over. I think he was just trying to spot to see what was going on the other side of the bridge, whether anybody was coming or not. Kind of like an early warning radar. As soon as he spots the Tiger, he kind of like just backs off and comes this way. Now our 87, who's our another Tier 7 tank destroyer, is pretty much AFK throughout the game. He comes back towards very late game and does try to do some contribution. I don't know what happened, but at the end of that, he's not really much of a factor. And that VK3601H starts shooting at our AMX for God knows what reason. I have no idea. And so we, at first I thought he might have fired accidentally, but then he keeps on just firing at the AMX. And I was like, this is not gonna happen. Now, so as soon as I'm done typing, telling the AMX he can take my spot because I think he has better armor for where I was sitting, I take a shot at the 3601H because I rather have the AMX than the VK3601H if he's just gonna hurt other teammates. So as soon as I hit him, the AMX thanks me, and we go back to business. Now we see a T20 racing across the bridge. I don't know what he was thinking he was going to be able to do, but we let the poor T20 have it pretty hard. Now I try to track him, but he goes into this pocket and I don't want to follow him. I know that KV-1S with its gun and its armor is much bigger threat. I take one shot, probably from the 87, take another shot from the 87, that takes out my gun. I repaired the gun just because I need the accuracy for the gun, and just go back to shooting at targets. Now I'm doing more peekaboo now than I was doing before. I'm not going all the way to the rock. I'm just gonna see who's ever outline is the one that's more exposed. I'm just gonna take shots at him. But I know out of all of these, the bigger threat is the 87, because more often than not people have a hard time trying to figure out where to hit the 87. And the other thing is, I don't know, out of the remaining tanks on this corner, who has the accuracy to actually hit the 87. Now the AMX goes after the Tiger. I put one shot at the Tiger just to help out the dribble, and I finish off the 87. Now the KV-1S and the IS kind of like duel, and I don't know what the KV-1S was doing, because as you'll see, as he hits him, he only does 84 points of damage. So I don't know whether he was firing heat rounds, not knowing, or I don't know what he was trying to do, but I finished up the T20 because if I had left him alive, he could have kept on shooting, and I'd take another shot at the IS, but it's too late, and the KV-1S dies to the IS. Now I don't want to waste my shot at this range. I know the IS, if he is a decent player, he knows I'm behind this bush, and he can put some hurt in me really quickly. So I just stay back here, bide my time until the IS makes a mistake and I have a shot at the commander's cupola. Now the T-29 and the Tiger, the two top tier heavy tanks we had went towards the ridge for some reason, and I don't know why. They never communicated it with us. And so as soon as the IS exposes its weak spot with the Commander's Cupola, and so I take a shot at him and take him out of the game. Now the IS, I just take a shot at the lower plate, I leave him at 64 health, and now I'm just looking at my spawn, seeing what is happening. I want to take out this KB1S, but I don't want to follow him all the way in because I don't know what is waiting for me on the other side. By now I have done over 3,479 points of damage, and the 87, I don't know, people were shooting at him. I guess he was good for something, I suppose. And all of a sudden, the Hellcat appears out of nowhere. So I leave the Hellcat. As soon as he stops, I let him have it for about 300 points of damage. Now I just need another shot to take him out. Now what I try to do is I try to go and next to the 87, because I know the Hellcat's not going to pop out where I am. But then all of a sudden I see an M4, and so I just fire at the M4 as soon as I'm ready to, and I just managed to track him for some reason. Now the Hellcat is just popping out and taking shot, and he doesn't do that for some reason again, but the 82 takes him out. Now the Leopard appears, and I try to just fire a shot at him, trying to tell him, back off buddy, I see what you're trying to do. And the RD in the meanwhile kind of like takes out the Hellcat. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to follow the Leopard up the ridge, and I'm hoping that the 82 will be able to take care of the KB1S if he comes, or I can just turn around over the ridge and shoot back in our spawn and take out the KB1S. I think the T-29 and the Tiger, I don't know what held them up. Honestly, I wasn't paying much attention to the fight, just because it was, as soon as I got done firing at something else just popped up. So now all of a sudden the KB2 appears, and I was like, wow, this is an interesting way for the KB2 to come here. But nevertheless, I know the KB2 with its gun can hurt, really bad. So I'm like, I'm gonna take out the KB2. Now the KB2 doesn't realize who's shooting at him, and that's good. And I just fire my last shot into him and finish him off. Now what I'm thinking is I should go over there and help my Tiger and the T-29 friend. And for some reason KB2 accuses the 82 for firing gold, which is funny. I mean, as soon as I'm going, I mean here is where I make my mistake, honestly. I should have just gone and helped out the Tiger and the T-29 earlier, but I could not have known that this would turn out this way. So I mean, the Leopard just shows his face for a second, and put a shot into him. Now that's why I love the last gun on the Jgpanther. Its aiming time is so quick. You can take like quick shots at things that are popping up. And I don't know what the Tiger and the T-29 did in this game, honestly. Now I have the top gun at this moment because I've already killed 6 tanks. If you remember, I killed the VK3601H earlier in the game, and I did that because I did not have a choice. It was either the AMX or the VK3601H. I kind of like figured if the VK3601H is shooting at the AMX, what is stopping him from shooting at any of our other teammates? So I'll pick the sane tank driver over the insane one. So now the KB1S has disappeared, and I can't spot him. So I know the RD is kind of like getting ready to hit the KB1S. So I turn around and I'm anticipating the T25-2 and the Su-85 to come this way. At least the T25 to come this way, not the Su-85, because I don't know where he is. And so, in hindsight, I should have just waited, and they would have just popped into my sight, and I would have taken both of them out. But I don't. I just, I say, let's be aggressive, let's take him out. And now I, load a heat round to finish off the T25-2 because I know he's on low health. So I know I can take him out fairly easily. Now here's my worst nightmare. Both of them are coming together. So I fire at the SU, sorry, the T25-2 and take him out. Now I'm loading my premium rounds because I don't want to take a chance on bouncing because I'm really low health and I really wanted to win this game. And here, I should have either just rammed him or, just tried to get on his side or something. I did not do anything. I just thought I would be able to bounce another round, and I don't know what he was trying to do either. I should have just bounced around. I should have just, there's so many things I could have done. But what I did was not correct. I should have angled my tank more, blah blah, this goes on. But in any case, that's why I called it the Heartbreak Ridge. It winds up being a draw, even though we take out their Su-85. The 82 does not go with the 87, and unfortunately, that would be the end of this game. I mean, it was a good game. I nearly did 5,000 points of damage. I probably did most of the damage on my team. The 87 tries his best, but I don't know. He's just slightly lacking in what he needed to do versus what he should have done. What he did, well, I mean, what he should have done versus what he needed to do. So I mean, I don't know. It's a very heartbreaking loss. That's why I call it the Heartbreak Ridge. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will not let it run to the end just because there's about 4 minutes of back and forth until time just basically runs out. So yeah, I mean, if you like what you see, please subscribe. It helps me a lot. If you want to see some specific tanks that I have, do leave a comment and I'll try to make a video about it. If you like to see something particular in World of Tanks or in Warframe, do let me know and I'll try to entertain some of those requests. I don't promise I can do any of these things just because college is starting and I have stuff to do. But yeah, I mean, I'll try my best and hopefully I'll catch you soon.